is basically Bhagavatam and Srimad and Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's all we need. All the other scriptures are actually going to enhance us. But the root of those two, actually three scriptures, starting from Bhagavad Gita, then Srimad Bhagavatam, and then Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's all we need. Even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, you don't need to even go through all the big, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. You can do Chaitanya Bhagavata. It's very easy. So he used to read that. So now his question, Uddhava's question, is basically based on, he's asking this. Symptoms of conditioned and liberated souls. Okay, so some of the slokas that we can probably pull here is, so there are I don't have to really sing the sloka or anything there. So first of all, he is bringing this, the very first sloka in that particular, the chapter is Lord Krishna is bringing the three modes of material nature. But anyway, to really summarize what is the purpose of this is, where are we? So many years we have really gone through. Some, not all of them. Some are new, and there are a lot of who are actually, so many years we have been there, maybe 20 years or 25 years or whatever it is. These 25 years is not going to be available anymore. Only few more years, if at all. So that is why we have to evaluate ourselves as where we are. Otherwise, our life will be like a status quo. You look for every day, single day, get up, all right, now I have to go to work, I have to do this, I have to do this, that, pending this, and whatever, most of them are our own manufactured tasks. So we try to go over that, and then at the end of the day, we get tired. Maybe we do little chanting or something, if whatever, and then the day is done. But if it is going to be like the status quo, the status quo is not going to go for a long time. It will stop very soon for many of us. Are we conditioned soul still? Or we are liberated? Because liberated does not mean that you should not have a material body. No. While you have a material body, you can be liberated. Well, what is our status? That is why I really, just like that, I glanced today, just like that, and then that, okay, all right, let us start with something, and then as we go. So Bhagavad Gita we are not going to go through, because there are a lot of people are talking about that. So Gurudev said, no, you take 2 slokas and then close it. That is not much for us. So Gurudev says Chaitanya Charitamrita and then Srimad Bhagavatam. So actually even some people, they say, oh, don't go to the 10th canto, you really go from 1st canto, 2nd canto, 3rd canto, like that, you keep on going. Gurudev does not say like that. Gurudev says, you go to, first you really read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, first. Then you go to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then you read the others. You will understand now much better who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is the highest goal. Then he says, then you come to the Bhagavad Gita. If you want to even read the whole Bhagavad Gita, you just read it, and one day you will be able to understand everything and close the book. Because there are nothing there, nothing much. This yoga, that yoga, body, mind, this, everything, all the, don't sleep, don't do this, that, this, yoga, all kinds of yogas, and you'll say, oh my God, close. 2 slokas you take and then done. Because you don't have time. But people are there just talking about this Bhagavad Gita, rest of their life. Bhagavad Gita is for the ordinary people, normal, common people to get into the platform of bhakti. But once you really get a guru, then you have to really aspire for progressing. So who are we? Are we still a conditioned soul? So these conditioned souls from time immemorial turned the back to Krishna and wanted to enjoy Maya. Originally, all the jivas are pure, but tiny. That is why they have the weakness. And when the jiva became Bakirmukha, that means they turned their back to Krishna, wishing to enjoy away from Krishna, they became Bhatta Jivas. Because that is not the right constitution of the original constitution of Jiva is not that. But because Jiva has an independence, they looked here. This is the problem. So became Bhatta Jivas. So they will go through the punishment. If you do something wrong, then there is a consequence. So that means they have to be taught. The knowledge about the spiritual knowledge has to be taught by somebody. And also punished. For what? For their choice. Punished for what? For their wrong choice they made. So there are two things. To be educated in the Atmajnana and to be also punished because of their what they did. It is against their original subhava. So as they fell down, they possessed bad qualities, as you see in the picture. All due to ignorance. What is the ignorance? Only one thing. They forgot, somehow or other, they forgot that I am eternally the servant of Krishna only. I am part and parcel from Krishna, and the only duty for me is to really serve him. This is the only thing. But if you really don't get it, that is ignorance. Because of that, they develop attachment to the material world. Do we have, okay, now as I told in the beginning itself, what is the purpose of these sessions is now today's session is to evaluate ourselves. Where are we? Are we still a conditioned jiva? Do I have attachment to the material world? Do I have attachment to the relations? These relations are nothing. Look at here, this life is like a dream. It's just like a dream. And after the dream is over, then you realize, oh, what a nonsense that I had. I was supposed, I had so-and-so, wife so-and-so, husband so-and-so, this son and daughter. What is this nonsense? No value, nothing. It's not real. But do I still have attachment to the material world? Do I have attachment to my relations? Lust, growth, greed. And do I have pride in my position, in my beauty and my fame? And do I have envy, false ego? Everything is developing because of one small mistake that the jiva did. So all these Bhatta jivas fall at the hands of Maya Devi. Maya Devi is under the control of Lord Krishna only. But Maya Devi has 3 gunas. Now, that first verse is bringing that here. So the Lord is saying, O Uddhava, the 3 modes of material nature work under my control through Maya Devi. Sometimes designating the living entities as conditioned and sometimes granting them liberation. Truthfully, the living entities are never really conditioned or liberated in the original form. Just as I remain unchanged as the supreme absolute truth, the master of all the potencies. So we got these 3 gunas: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. So when these jivas were actually coming down, what does she do? First thing is, she put 2 covers. She puts the inside, that is it's called Linga Sarira. Or Sushma Sarira, inside, subtle body with mind and intelligent false ego. See, that's the inner garment. Then he put another garment over us. That is this sthula body, this body, grass body. And now, all right, go and play. Play in the ground. You came to play here. Okay, play. See, he is now subjected to karmas. All the Baddha Jivas first all become karmis. Then, of course, they get beaten up across birth and birth and birth and birth and so many births. Then some may become, oh, this is not good. I want to do yogas. Oh, I want to do jnanas. I want jnana. And also very rarely some become real bhaktas. So karmi is where they go. They go to heaven, hell, then earth. Heaven, like that they are rotating there indefinitely. Yogis, at least they actually meditate on the Paramatma. And then when they get liberated, so then they merge into Brahman. Jnanis, they meditate on Brahman and they also get liberated. But bhaktas are in a good route, as we are trying to, because our goal is Bhagavan. But Bhagavan and do engage in the seva, not go there and then sleep there like in Brahman. We are not there to really go and sleep there. That is spiritual suicide. Serving Bhagavan is our eternal truth. Actually, our Jivera Swarupakaya, Krishna Nitya Dasa, that is our real Swarupa. So, this is what the three gunas that we are talking about for the question by Uddhava. So, he is starting with the three gunas. Then what is he saying? What else he is saying? Just as a dream is an illusory creation of the mind, so lamentation, illusion, happiness, distress, and the bodily concept of life are simply creations of my illusory energy. That is to say, material existence is essentially illusory. Did we understand that first? Do I have the realization that this world does not belong to me? These relations are nonsense for me. I don't have any binding, nothing. My only relation is Krishna. So many things we are putting in our mind. So many times we become happy and unhappy most of the time. And we are actually doing things totally in illusioned way. The happiness is very fickling. Most of the time it's all distress. Because we are now still attached to the body. So where are we? Third one. O Uddhava, you should understand that both ignorance and knowledge are creations by my Maya only. Now coming here. This ignorance, that means we have to go beyond, in fact. Knowledge will give liberation. That is correct. But that's not what we want. We want to get to that original position of the Jiva, which is eternal servant of Krishna. So here nicely saying is, Vitya vitye mamatanu vitye uddhava saririnam mokshabandhakari atye mayaya me vinirmite. See? So now, see, that's also coming from yoga, Maya only. So Maya, his Maya is actually, she is actually putting you in ignorance, and also she can give knowledge, if you are really asking for it. Now he is continuing, oh intelligent Uddhava, the eternal living entities are my parts and parcels. We all know that. Of course, many times we have seen. For I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ignorance is the cause of the living entities' bondage, and knowledge is the cause of their liberation. The Lord is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities. And He alone is maintaining all life as Paramatma. O Uddhava, I shall now describe the difference between the embodied spirit soul who possesses the two contradictory natures of misery and happiness and the eternally liberated supreme personality of Godhead. This is where that he is now comparing. This text 6. There are two birds, the living entity and the super soul, Paramatma. They all live together in the nest of a tree. What is the nest? The nest is the heart. Tree. What is the tree? Is our body. So in our body there is a nest which is the heart. So in the nest there are two birds living. They are similar in nature. Both are spiritual though. And they are inseparable friends. One bird, which is the living soul, enjoys the fruit of the tree. Whereas the other bird, who is Paramatma, does not partake of the fruit because he is in a superior position on account of its potency and nature. The super soul who does not taste the fruit of the tree and who is the shelter of eternal knowledge knows all about himself and the living entities, all the living entities. However, the living entity who tastes the fruit of the tree is ignorant, both himself and of the Supreme Lord. He does not know about anything. He is ignorant. He does not know the Supreme Lord. And he is so ignorant that he is really thinking that this world is created for me to enjoy. And he is so attached and conditioned. That is why he is a conditioned soul. And a conditioned soul is called Baddha Jiva. And who conditioned this? The root of the condition is because he really showed Bahirmukha to Krishna. He wanted to come away and enjoy alone. And now, unless the spiritual knowledge is actually instilled on the Jiva, it is not going to come away from the ignorance. But when it comes out, then it will be liberated. Then it doesn't have to really worry about. Now, the 8th sloka is saying, a liberated soul, although living within the material body, sees himself as distinct from the body. Okay, now we are talking about the liberated body, a liberated jiva. So remember, this is this conditioned and liberated souls. Now, Lord is talking about the liberated soul. That is where we have to compare ourselves. Are we in this category? Because we may have body, that's not a problem. For liberation, it's nothing to do with the body or not. No, body, so still one can be liberated. When they leave the body, they don't have to worry about coming back again in this material world. So a liberated soul, although living within the material body, sees himself as distinct from the body. This is why Srila Prabhupada always tell you are not the body, you are not the body, you are not the body. But are we getting it? Remember, he used to really bring this again and again and again so many times. But have we got it? That is the question. Just saying I'm not the body is not going to make it. You have to realize it. How will the realization come? The realization will come only when we are really under the shelter of that proper Guru lineage and do seva. Otherwise, even though we are thinking I am the I'm not the body, I'm not the body, I'm not the body, realization is not there. No. Realization will show. How it will show? Through the activities that you perform. What kind of things that you are actually buying, for example. What kind of things that you are going for. And what do you do. And how much how much thinking of about the Lord you are thinking in your carrying in your mind? Is it 24 hours times? Or just when you really go to the, that time, oh Lord, okay, you do the prayers and everything and then done with that. That is not realization. That is only sadhana. So we are here talking about realization. So if anyone is thinking that he is actually doing the work, which is really going to come again about the same thing. Because the jivas will be thinking that I am doing the work, all the activities. Attached with the body, that's what he is thinking. And he is thinking that, yes, this is me, this is all mine. So these are the two knots of that Maya Devi has really put on Bhatta Jivas. Two knots. I and mine. So now the person is, the Bhatta Jiva is dreaming. Oh yeah, this is I am seeing this, yes. I have my, uncle, auntie, these, uncle, so many relations I have. I have this, I have that, I have the home, I have job, I have that. This is how we are. This is, if you really attached with that, it's not realization. One who has realized, he will have complete detachment and do everything, whatever the activities we are doing is only for the sake of Guru and Krishna. Everything else is self-manufactured tasks. We invent our own tasks. This is not going to give us any realization. So that means we are not liberated soul. We are an ignorant person. That means Bhatta Jiva. And then text 9 he is talking about. Today we will do probably just 15. And then we'll just bring some one poem and then see how that will reflect what the topic that we are discussing today. So in text 9, Bhagavan is saying, a learner person who has seen the futility of material desires does not think that he performed the act. Exactly, I was just mentioning about the activities. See, because he does not think that he performed the activities of the body. Indeed, he knows that the activities of the body, which amounts to the senses contacting their objects, are going on automatically by the dictation of the three modes of material nature. See, what are the material? For example, our body, how it's come. Become a baby, running around here and there, playing this and trying to study something, whatever. We do these, all kinds of things we do. So that is the first stage. Then after that, we really engage in the more of Satvik. Typically, that's what happens, right? So Satvik is basically very, very fresh. You learn, go to school, everything. Then becomes Rajasic. You work and hard work. That is Rajasic. And after that, you retire. You kind of sleeping. So in a way, you can actually bring that. Even within a day, morning is Satvik. Then again, daytime is actually Rajasic. Nighttime you are sleeping. So, and anything in this world you see, these three, the three gunas will be there. In the person also it will be there. And in the day also it will be there. And anything that you are actually dealing with, everything will be having that already embedded in. That's why Maya Devi is the one who really instills all these three gunas. And now, depending on your taste, depending on your activities, how you really want to enjoy or trying to enjoy this world, and depending on the karmas and everything, you develop the gunas. The Bhatta Jivas are under these three gunas. So that means that is what is running the body. Remember, because you did not want you to be old age. Are you in control? Because the third stage is going to be what? That's a deterioration. That means you are going to be finished. Okay, so in the beginning stage, we really acquire all these elements from the basically the Panchaputas, everything. And then after that, we really develop our, the Sushma Sarira and also Lingas, all the the external body, gross body, etc. And then, as I mentioned, yes, we are actually living here. So that is when we really get it. Then at the death, we are releasing everything back. Except still our mind, intelligent and false ego will be with us. That is subtle body, created right when we were falling down. Right? Only depending on which kind of material world you are going to be born, you will be given that kind of body. Of course, in this world, everything is carbon-based. Remember, we are organic, not inorganic. That is why we are not supposed to use any drugs which are inorganic, which is not supposed to be good for our body. But then, organic body is based on carbon. That is the core. Everything, CHO, CHNO. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Like that only all those things are organic chemistry. But then suppose you are really you are born in some other universe, which could be silicon based, who knows? Or maybe some other element based. You have so many elements. We don't know. This is only how many, 192 or something. Even though I was a chemical engineer, I even don't remember the periodic chart anymore. It's all gone. But look at here. So wherever we take birth, this subtle body is going on until we get liberated. Only at the liberation, this subtle body will also thrown out. But anyway, the activities that are all going in the material body with the consciousness of the mind and intelligence and the false ego is actually done under the control of the three gunas. So he's saying that is what is actually running you. You are not. You are subjected. You are under control. And the text again, under the control of his previous deeds, that is karma, a foolish person accepts the material body again. And proudly consider himself the doer of all activities. Thus, he becomes entangled in all kinds of bodily affairs as the reactions to his fruitive activities that are actually carried out by the three material qualities. So that is realization. I am not the doer. The soul, the jiva has nothing to do with whatever the activities that are all doing actually in its spiritual form, in its pure form. I am entangled. So when that kind of realization comes, then you have a progress. Otherwise, we are entangled. So these 50 years gone already, and we are not going to get another 50 years anymore. Maybe 20 more, or 30 more, we don't know. Or even one day, we don't know. You just walk on the street and then go there and then something comes and then hits and you are gone. So this is the nature of this world. So a learned persons who are fixed in detachment engage their senses in activities. What again? Who are fixed detachment, not attachment. So a ignorant person will be having attachment means sleeping, sitting, traveling, bathing, seeing, touching, smelling and hearing. But a learned person will never get entangled. How did that come? This is the question today. What is the process to really get into this stage at least? This is not the highest stage yet. Bhava stage is coming later. We are talking about the conditioned soul to the liberated soul. Remember, out of the liberated souls, a bhakta, Krishna bhakta is very difficult to find. We are not coming to the Bhava bhakti. So that means when we are engaged in a sadhana bhakti, it is better that we are already liberated. Otherwise, this sadhana will be going on every day, every week, every month, every year. Another year comes, and the time is up, vacate the place. What did you do? So today, we have to evaluate ourselves. Who am I? Because a devotee, when he comes to the Bhava Bhakti, he is already liberated. Maya has no touch. That is Bhava Bhakti. But on the other hand, what we do? We don't know where we are. And then we are trying to read about Bhava Bhakti, read about Prema Bhakti, read about this Bhakti, that, this, everything. And then finally, what is the use of it? So that is why it is not the scriptures that we read. It is the seva. It is the seva, 24 hours seva to Guru and Krishna. And what is the important seva to Guru? What is the most important seva to Guru? Anyone? What is the most important seva? The most important, yes?
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes.
The purpose of seva, getting more seva again and again from Guru.
No, it's not. In fact, our Gurudev also has really mentioned, you have to do only one seva for me, that is the most important. That is, you chant 64 rounds. That 64 round chanting should be completely what? It should be completely absorbed. Otherwise, you are not doing seva. So, it is not that the physical seva is the main one. No, those are all the sevas. That will be augmenting. But a Guru seva is number one. Why? Guru gives you the mantra. Why? For you to chant and relish it to the extent that you finally develop Bhava Bhakti. That is Guru seva. Otherwise, you are not doing Guru seva. This is the first Guru seva. Okay. Although everything rests in space. Okay, so he's talking about, again, the next two things he's saying. No, I am not bound by anyone. So now we'll just get into the because we cannot really keep on reading, time is running. So a person is known to be actually liberated from the gross and subtle material bodies when all the functions of his body and mind are performed without material desires. Although possessing a material body, such a person is not in bondage. This is what the message that I wanted to convey today. So Baddha Jiva, then you have the liberated, that is Mukta Jiva, and then you have the Bhava Bhakti Jiva, that is a different line altogether. So this is not talking about more than that. This is just basically continuation of Bhagavad Gita, what he taught to Arjuna. And he is now telling that in a elaborate way and condensed way, and here the Bhakti is going to come. As we go, he is getting into that, and why my Bhaktas are the highest. But slowly it is picking up. And here saying, actually liberated means what? He is because he does not have any material desires. How that comes? When we do that Guru Seva of chanting ecstatically, that's also coming. So when we do that, automatically these material desires will go away. If we are keep on chanting and chanting and chanting, but our material desires are not going away yet, the chanting had no value. You understand now? This is very important. Today the message is, I am chanting, I am doing all kinds of things. But now am I liberated? Very easy. Do I have attachment to any of my material activities, possessions, relations, body, everything? If I have attachment even to a little, then I am not liberated. So that attachment, that detachment to these things will, how it will come? When we do the chanting of the holy names, as Gurudev is really giving us the first order to chant ecstatically without fail. That is why Krishna says, of all the yajnas, chanting my holy names is the topmost yajna. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and then he was yelling again, Nama Sankirtan, Nama Sankirtan, Nama Sankirtan. Okay, so we'll stop at this. This is the 14. Now, I am going to, okay, maybe just 15. Okay, we'll start. Sometimes one may be tormented by a miscreant. Miscreant means what? Some bad people. Suppose I am really going in a car, somebody comes and then hits me the car. Or you are walking on the road probably, and some guy comes and then hits me. Or some animal attacks me, ferocious animal attack. Okay, so sometimes one may be tormented by this miscreant or attacked by a ferocious animal. And at other times or may be shown respect. Oh, you are great. They are giving respect and even worshipping. And if that person is not really bothered either by this or that means, by torment, he was actually, got into, whatever the problem, or he is honored. A liberated person has nothing. He does not see anything. No difference between these two. Now we will just go to this next slide, which is basically what it is. This is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And whatever I talk today, of course, this is a little higher than what it's not just liberated soul. It's more than that. Of a devotee. Oh Lord, how will we think? Oh Lord, I submit the following prayer at your lotus feet. Why I am praying you? I do not pray to you for physical comfort and protection. Oh, you see, nothing should happen. When I am traveling, nothing should happen. When I am doing here, there's nothing, everything, all protected. Nothing, I am not asking for anything. Or I am not asking for any knowledge also. Or for wealth. Or for followers. No, Lord. I am not asking for any of that. What is he asking for? Look at that. I do not pray to you for heaven. Nahi mahi swarga ara. I am not asking for you to give me heaven. Or I'm not asking for you to give me moksha. Array, whatever we talked about is already demolished here. Even liberation is not, I am not asking. I do not pray for any of these opulences. Nothing. Now, the third verse saying, in whatever birth I take, whatever my karma leads me to, I don't care. If I have to die soon, let it happen. If I have to really get into somewhere, somebody attacks me and then I die, let it happen. That is my karma. That is nothing to do with you. I am not asking you for any protection. See, that was the first one. Whatever that karma, let it happen. But what I pray for is, even in those things, I am really having pain, suffering, one after another. By taking so many births and going through all these kind of sufferings, let me always sing the glories of your holy name, birth after birth. See that? See how he is positioning. What is the fourth one? This alone is my cherished hope, my aspiration, my prayer at your lotus feet. What is it? Let causeless and uninterrupted devotion awaken within my heart and flow towards you. This is what we are asking. But where are we now? Are we still as a Bhakta Jiva even fallen all the way down? Forget about liberated or not. Where am I? This is what it is. Causeless and uninterrupted devotion. Let that be awakened within my heart and flow towards only you. Not any Devadas, not any of those. No, only to you. Let me love your lotus feet as much I now love sense gratification in this world. I pray to you to transfer my affection from that worldly objects, sense objects, those senses to back to your lotus feet. Somebody in danger or in success, good fortune or disaster or disastrous like accidents, whatever, danger or success or good fortune or bad for this thing, disasters, let me remain in equipoise. Let me not blame you for my problem. These problems come to me due to my karma. But let me never run away from you. Just because I am getting hit because of my karma, I should not go away from you. Let me never run away from you. When I get pain, in fact, the other way, when I get pain and all kinds of problem in the life, it's good for me. Why? Because that is the way that I develop affection more to you, and my affection to you will be more increasing day by day. But by these all these problems and chanting the holy name, because when I get into the problems, I will take my chanting beads and chant and cry in chanting. So, this sixth, the one saying that you have to, that means if you have to be blessed to get into pain and problems in the life, in this life, because this life has to be finished. Otherwise, how will you get a detachment? So, those who are really getting into this problem, pain and disaster, they are fortunate. But if they are ignorant, because Krishna is really doing this this for me, then you are a fool number one. That's what it says. So what it is saying is, that is the way you increase my devotion to you more and more and more. But Bhakta Jivas will not think like this. Will it? Is Bhaktivinoda Thakur a Bhakta Jiva? No. A devotee. A devotee will think like this only. Then for last one. So here, finally concluding, whether I live like an insect or a bird or a beast, I am being put in heaven or hell, let the humble Bhakti Vinoda always cherish Bhakti in his heart or hearts. So, this is Bhava Bhakta. So today now, only one request I have is, you do self-evaluation. Only you know where you are. Are you Bhakta Jiva? Still have attachment to your families and friends and this and that, all kinds of material activities and your body, family, this, everything. Of course, you have to living. That's not the problem. Do we have attachment? Or you are detached, just doing as a duty and offering that as to Krishna. That is only just karma yoga only, at least. Are we?